Hello and welcome. What is your question?
My question is, I am in decision processing mode, so I'm deciding what I want and getting clear on that and seeing if it's the pony or the unicorn and can I go for the unicorn or pony? And I got new information that I needed to make my decisions quicker and collapse the timeline because I have like 2 weeks to get things done type
Okay.
thing.
All right. So let's go back to the decision,
Yes,
because the decision is the crux of this.
yes.
So you're deciding between A and B, a pony and a unicorn?
Pretty much. So basically, like the pony is like just what I need to get by, and the unicorn is fully getting what I want and moving forward from a better position than just skating by because I've been skating by for so long.
What if there was a zebra?
Yes. So yeah, that's and then you have the giraffe that shows up and going, what about me too? So it's like
No. But you've only given me two options, and you're only giving the universe two options of one is just keep me where I've always been on this horse, or two is give me the unicorn. That's kind of like saying just keep me where I am or just give me the lottery, but nothing in between. Between a horse and a unicorn, there's bound to be a zebra. I don't know why, but it just seems like it, right?
yes, and I've seen a zebra lately. It's weird. Okay, so
Oh, have you now?
yes, in a place that you would not expect.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's what I was led to say to you. So here's the thing that I would say to you. You've already been living at the level with this pony or this horse, whatever it is. And you know how to ride this horse, and you've probably beaten this horse, and this poor horse is probably ready for you to put it out of its misery. You've beaten it, right?
Yes,
Like you've been riding the horse. This is like an Amish workhorse. We're ready to like move on and let it retire.
yes,
But necessarily, it could be that you aren't ready for the unicorn. Unicorns are these fantastic animals. I don't know about unicorns in your world, but unicorns in my world, not only do they have wings and fly, but they have horns and magical powers. So like
yes,
unicorns are everything,
yes,
right? And maybe you're just not ready to handle everything, but a zebra is nice because they have a little bit of like, they're a little more interesting. They're, it'd be a fresh place, something you haven't experienced before, and a little more exotic than an Amish workhorse.
correct.
Right. So what if you could just move into a place where you could have a little more breathing room, a little more ease, a little more
Yes,
a
all of
little
it.
more, a little more of what you want without I don't want to say like eat the whole cake, because then you'll get a stomach ache and then you won't do it again, right? But
Right.
the point here is that like it does get to be easier, and it does get to feel better, and it doesn't have to be that hard, and you can have more without having everything still.
Yes, I can.
Right. So I have a couple of calibrations that I put up on YouTube. One of them is it gets to be easier. You might look into that.
Okay.
And the other one is feeling better now. So if you're ever feeling bad, you might want to look into that. But what's stopping you from just expanding beyond where you are into a space that would give you more breathing space, more room to just feel relief? What's stopping you from that?
It's because it's that I don't know if that will be enough. I don't know if, it's like I've been riding this horse for so long. It's like, what would be enough? Like, I can't see it yet, but I need to see it because time is of the essence now.
Right. So, and this is probably going to be a disappointing thing, but it could be sometimes that we're on the wrong vehicle.
Yes,
And it could be that this horse will not get you there from here, as
correct.
we say in South Carolina,
Yes.
right? So in which case, there could be an entire switch that needs to happen. Is that what's really going on for you right now?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
what's stopping you from a whole new vehicle, a whole new mechanism here?
I don't know if it's the I don't know factor or I might lose it again if I get it.
Okay. Well, chances are people don't lose things twice. What would you lose again?
I would be back on the horse. Like I'd lose I lose the zebra and then I'm back on the horse.
Okay. But the horse is familiar, so you would know what to do on the horse,
True.
which means you could then let go of the horse once again for the zebra.
Agreed.
Right. So, but
I agree.
also, let me just say this. I've lost many things in my life, and some of them I find again. And so for the things that I've lost and then once again found, I've never lost them again. I find that when we go through life and there's something that becomes particularly hard, that we have a lesson to grow through. And so if you take an inventory, if you do an assessment of what you have learned and you put this on paper, and you can look at why you've suffered this loss or why you've created this, if you can actually make a tangible list of why you've ended up on a fucking horse when you wanted to be on a zebra or a unicorn, right? You can make this list and you can see tangibly why you've ended up on this horse. And you can look at that with a very logical mind. Anyone can do this. And you can say, but am I that person? Would I make that mistake again? Right? Because for me, I've done a lot of things in my life that haven't really worked out. I ended up homeless. I never ended up homeless again. I poured $100,000 into a boutique that turned into my personal closet. That would be a big loss. I learned a lot and I never did that again in a business. So in my experience, if I end up on a horse and I really wanted to be in a G-Wagon, I learned the lesson that the horse taught me, and I understand what it takes to have the G-Wagon. I have to try for the G-Wagon, knowing that if I end up back on the horse, like, hey, that's great, I can shoot again for the G-Wagon, right?
Yes.
So can you make an inventory of whatever was going on that you ended up on this horse and then find a logical space? Because are you going to make the same mistakes again? Do you need to learn? Have you not learned the lesson? Is the lesson still there?
I've learned the lesson. I've beaten the horse
You've
a
beaten the
couple
horse, that
times.
poor horse.
That poor horse, yes. No horses were harmed in
No
this.
horses, unicorns, or zebras were harmed in the making of this video.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Like, if you've learned the lesson and if you're ready to move past it, and it sounds like you are, like, this just comes down to trust. And will it work the first time? It may or it may not. But you have to get out of the fear and the comfort of where you are for where you want to be. And it helps if, on one side you're doing the inventory, on the side of the paper that you do the inventory of whatever contributed to you riding a horse and the lessons of the horse, and then the growth of the horse. So outline that on one side of the paper, and then on the other side of the paper, outline what it is you need to get onto a zebra or a unicorn, and how far away, what the gap of tension is there, the gap between where you are and where you want to be, right? And And once you do this, and once you see, I find that when people get into a really tangible space, I'm very visual. So when you get into a very tangible space and you can actually see what's needed for you to get into a G-Wagon or a zebra or a unicorn, you know, whatever it is to get into the new space that you want, it just is what it is.
Yes.
Did all of that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense. And I could even see once I take the time to do the inventory, that the timeline will cease to exist possibly. And I could get where I need to go within the time span I need to, if I trust myself enough to do the work and actually do the work, not just trust myself to do the work.
Yes, and actually do the work, right? Because there's always going to be work. Now, whatever it takes to change what is going on for you is going to be a whole nother, you know, that's a whole nother thing, but only you can know that. And we all know that, right? We all know what it's going to take for us to change, whether or not we allow ourselves to recognize that, see that, and move through that is really the question.
Exactly. That, yes, that's been the message that keeps on coming up.
Well, if that's been the message that keeps on coming up, for the love of God, just answer it and just make a decision.
Yes.
All right. I also have a video on how to know if you're always making the right decision.
Awesome.
I would look all of those up on my YouTube, and I believe you know where that is.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
You are so welcome. I'm glad that helped.
Yes, I'm so excited now.
Awesome.